The fall before the rise. Everyone in the fancy room looked at Keanu. Some looked angry. Some smiled, but not in a nice way. Others looked at him with cold eyes, full of judgment. Keanu stood quietly. He wore plain clothes. His long black coat was wet from the rain. He didn't come to talk. No, he had been brought here just to be laughed at. Only 20 minutes ago, Keanu had been helping an old lady pick up her groceries in a parking lot. And now, he was surrounded by rich and famous people. They said his kindness made him weak. They laughed at the way he lived. But what they didn't know was that Keanu had already been through hard times. He had already felt pain and sadness. So being laughed at didn't break him. It made him stronger. The real beginning. Keanu Reeves was not like other movie stars. People knew his name all over the world, but he lived a simple life. He didn't drive fancy cars. He didn't live in a big, shiny house. He didn't go to loud, crazy parties. Instead, he gave money to help others. He visited sick kids in hospitals. He took the bus like normal people. Most people loved him for this. But some powerful people in Hollywood did not. They felt like Keanu's kindness made them look bad. His goodness made their selfishness worse. They didn't like that. So they made a plan. They wanted to make him go away forever. The setup. One rainy afternoon, Keanu got an invitation from a big company called Zentrix Global. Their boss, Magnus Vale, was known for being mean in secret. He could make people disappear from the movie world without anyone knowing. The invitation said, "We are honoring the most important people in Hollywood. Please come to our private party." Keanu didn't trust Magnus. But his team said it would help his image. So, he agreed to go. The gala from hell. When Keanu arrived, everything looked beautiful. Gold lights. Red carpets. Cameras flashing. Rich and famous people laugh and drink very expensive wine. But when Keanu walked in, the mood changed. People whispered, "He still dresses like a poor poet, and why is he here?" Someone laughed, "He gave away millions again, didn't he?" Fool. Magnus Vale smiled a fake smile and handed Keanu a glass of wine. "Welcome, Keanu," he said. "Tonight we celebrate real power." Keanu answered calmly, "Power isn't always loud." Magnus smirked. "We'll see." The humiliation begins. They made Keanu sit on a stage. Cameras pointed right at him. Then Magnus stood up to talk. "At Zentrix, we honor people who build strong legacies," he said. "We also learn from mistakes." Behind him, a big screen turned on. It showed sad videos of Keanu. One of them was eating alone on a park bench. One of them is riding the subway. A newspaper called him the loneliest star. People laughed. Magnus kept talking. "Some call this humble. I call it hopeless." Keanu didn't move. He stayed calm. Magnus said, "This is not the image we want to show the world. Fame is about power, not about giving everything away and living like a monk." More people laughed. Some of Keanu's old friends looked away. Magnus turned to Keanu. "Any thoughts?" Keanu speaks. Keanu stood up slowly. The room went quiet. He looked around calmly. He was stronger than they thought. "You built your power by stepping on people," Keanu said softly. "I built mine by helping them." Someone scoffed. Another whispered, "He's trying to sound wise again." But Keanu didn't stop. "You count your success with money," he said. "I count mine by the people I helped." Magnus' smile started to fade. "I've seen children smile because someone paid their hospital bills," Keanu said. "I've held hands with people who had nothing left but still chose to be kind." He pointed at the screen. "You think this is something to laugh at?" he said. This is real life. And if you think kindness is weak, then you don't know what strength is. The room was silent. Magnus chuckled. Nice words. But words don't change power. The spark. After the event, Keanu left alone. No one came to interview him. No one stood by him. It was raining. But he wasn't sad. He was thinking. They thought they hurt him. But they didn't. They reminded him of something important. He didn't need their big company. He could build something better. Not with money. Not with control. But with truth and kindness. That night, he sat in his small apartment. No helpers. No noise. Just his laptop. He opened a folder called Project Phoenix. Inside were big plans. He was going to build a movie studio. A different one. One that gave chances to people who never got them. One that helped real causes, like schools, hospitals, and shelters. It was time. He typed a message to an old friend, a writer who had been pushed out by Magnus. It's time, Keanu wrote. I'm funding your script. No strings. Just the truth. The writer replied, Are you serious? Keanu smiled for the first time that day. Dead serious. Let's show them what real power looks like. The Rise of Phoenix Studios. It was very late at night. Rain fell outside. The city was still awake. Inside Keanu's small home, something big was being born. The world laughed at him. Talk shows called him a joke. Movie bosses said he was finished. But Keanu wasn't angry. He wasn't sad. He was ready. He was starting something new. Phoenix Studios. He picked the name because the phoenix is a magical bird that rises from fire and ashes. Keanu was ready to rise again too, not with revenge, but with a dream. Gathering the forgotten. Keanu started messaging people Hollywood had forgotten. He remembered them all. An actress named Raya Solis. They told me my face wasn't good enough. I cried every night. Keanu replied, Your heart is good enough. Can you come audition? A writer named Navan Das. I live in a trailer now. My last story got stolen. I haven't written in years. Keanu said, I'll read your original story. I'll pay for it too. A director named Talia Wren. Hollywood erased me. Do you really want me to direct again? Keanu said, Yes. Because you have a soul. Each person was shocked. Then they cried. Then they smiled. Keanu was helping them believe again. Building the studio. Keanu didn't buy a big building or fancy cameras. He bought an old community theater in a poor part of Los Angeles. It had broken seats and dusty lights. But Keanu smiled. This is where we start. He picked up a hammer. Every day, he came early to clean, paint, and build. People on the street were shocked. Is that Keanu Reeves? What's he doing here? He's cleaning toilets. Keanu didn't care. I'm building something real, he told a neighbor. And real things take real work. First filming begins. Navan Das gave Keanu a script. It was called The Boy Who Planted Light. It was about a poor boy who fixed broken streetlights because he believed darkness made people mean. He had no family, but he fixed one light at a time until the whole town was bright. Big movie companies had said no. Keanu said, Let's make it. I'll play the janitor who helps him. No lead role. Navan asked. I don't need to be the star, Keanu said. I just want the story told. They gave Raya Solis the role of the boy's mother. Talia Wren directed. Everyone helped. Everyone was paid fairly from Keanu's savings. They filmed in real places, with real feelings. 1 week later, they put a short trailer on YouTube. The title said, This isn't a Hollywood film. It's a human one. It didn't get superhero-level views. But something special happened. The comments were full of love. I cried just from the trailer. This feels real. Keanu was painting the walls in the background. He's not acting. He's real. In 3 days, 20 million people had watched it. Talk shows tried to laugh, but their fans didn't agree. Headlines changed. Keanu's small movie is changing everything. He turned down money to help people. Magnus Vail takes notice. In a tall office building, Magnus Vail read the headlines. He looked angry. Phoenix Studios is trending, his assistant said. Magnus laughed. Let him enjoy it. He'll run out of money soon. But his hands were shaking. He knew something was changing. And it scared him. The first premiere. 2 months later, the movie was ready. But instead of a red carpet, they showed it in a homeless shelter. Keanu invited kids, old people, poor families, and veterans. No fancy food. Just popcorn. But when the lights went out, magic happened. By the end, everyone was crying. Kids hugged their moms. Old men wiped their eyes. One person whispered, "This reminded me why I'm still alive." Raya cried backstage. Naven hugged her. Keanu stood by the door and hugged every person. No famous people came. But hearts were healed. When it ended, Keanu sat alone on the stage. Talia Wren sat beside him. "We did it," she whispered. "No," Keanu said. "We started." His phone buzzed. A message popped up, "You've started something dangerous. Be careful who you inspire." Keanu looked at it. Then he deleted it. He stood up. The world didn't need fear. It needed fire. Keanu had promised that Phoenix wouldn't just make movies, it would help people's lives. And he kept that promise. They gave free acting classes to kids who had no money. They hired people with disabilities to work on the movie crew. They made movies about people that the world usually ignored. Keanu's team wasn't just getting bigger. It was doing really well. But that's when the problems started. At first, it was small. Some people online started saying bad things about Phoenix. One article said, "Is Keanu using kindness just to get famous?" Another said, "Workers say Phoenix is a bad place to work." But those stories didn't say who said it. There were no names, no facts, just bad words. Still, people read them. Keanu saw one in the newspaper while drinking coffee. He didn't get mad. He closed the paper and went back to writing thank you notes to volunteers. He told his team, "Don't listen to the noise. The truth lasts longer than lies." But his friends were scared. Lena Wren, the main director, called an emergency meeting. "Keanu, this isn't just people talking. Someone is trying to hurt us," she said. Naven Das, the writer, agreed. "They're scared of us because we're doing something good." Raya Solis nodded. "They know how to break people's hearts. They've done it before." Keanu listened. Then he said something no one expected. "Let them talk. We'll keep walking." The room went quiet. Keanu continued. "We're not here to fight people. We're here to shine light. If we waste time fighting shadows, we'll forget the light." 1 week later, Phoenix got good news. A charity was giving them $2 million to make movies about mental health. But 3 days later, the money was taken away. No reason. No sorry. Just gone. Then their cameras were stolen from a locked room. Then their website stopped working. The police said, "You're just unlucky." But Keanu knew that wasn't true. He met with his team in a dark room. "This isn't just bad luck," he said. "Someone very powerful doesn't want us to grow." Far across town, in a secret room with frosted glass walls, A man named Magnus Vale met with his team. "Phoenix isn't just a movie place," he said angrily. "It's a movement. And movements can take away our power." He looked at the room full of lawyers and spies. "I want them stuck in legal trouble. I want people to think they're bad. I want their own people to turn against them." One person asked, "What if Keanu tells the truth to the public?" Magnus smirked. "He won't. He's too nice. That's his weakness." But Magnus didn't understand. Keanu wasn't weak because he was kind. He was strong because he never gave up on being kind. Even when Phoenix lost money. Even when actors quit because of threats. Even when film festivals refused to show their movies. Keanu kept coming every day. He helped fix the lights. He read scripts. He talked to every visitor. One night, a homeless teenager walked in. "I heard this is a place where people like me are safe," he said. Keanu gave him a blanket, a warm meal, and a role in their next short film. No cameras. No social media. Just kindness. Then the biggest problem came. One morning, Keanu got 3 fake lawsuits. One said Phoenix stole a movie idea. Another said they were mean to an actor. The third was about using a name they didn't own. The news spread fast. Keanu in trouble. Phoenix studio might close. Investors pulled back. Donors stopped giving money. Some crew members ran away. The same media that once loved Keanu now asked, "Was it all fake? Can someone good really make it in business?" That night, Keanu sat alone in the editing room. Rain tapped on the windows. The studio was empty. He looked at their next film, a story about a girl who helped her blind dad smile again by playing music. The sound wasn't perfect. The lights were a little off. But the story was full of heart. Keanu leaned back. His heart asked, "Do I keep going?" Then the door opened. It was the homeless teen, now clean and smiling. "I got a job, Mr. Keanu," he said, "because of the short film we made. They said I looked confident. I said it's because you made me feel that way." He handed Keanu a drawing. It was a phoenix with a heart. Keanu's eyes got wet. He whispered, "Yes, I keep going." The next day, Phoenix opened its doors again. No party. No music. Just courage. Then Keanu got an email. Subject, "They tried to destroy me too." It was from Julian Marsh, a man who used to work for Magnus Vale. The message said, "They are scared of you because you're changing the rules. I have proof of what they did, recordings, emails, documents. If you want it, it's yours. But once you open this, there's no going back." Keanu stared at the screen. Truth or peace? War or kindness? He closed the laptop. Then I opened it again. Because sometimes the truth must rise. Keanu sat in the meeting room. His team gathered, Lena, Naven, Raya, and others. They listened to the files. Voice messages of Magnus laughing about hurting Phoenix. Emails showing fake stories. Papers showing money paid to people to lie. Raya slammed her hand on the table. "We have to tell the world." Lena stood up. "We can shut Zentrix down." Naven nodded. Magnus could lose everything. Everyone looked at Keanu. But he didn't speak. He just stared at the screen, thinking deeply. That night, Keanu walked through a park. The ground was wet from the rain. Lights sparkled in puddles. The world was quiet, but his mind was busy. He remembered why he started Phoenix Studios. To give hope. Not to hurt people. The next morning, he made a choice. He wouldn't take revenge. He would tell the story with a film. He wrote a short film called The Truth Files. But it wasn't about revenge. It was about how lies grow in silence, and how truth rises with quiet courage. He used real people, hurt artists, writers who were ignored, small filmmakers. No makeup, no fancy lights, just real stories. The movie showed a studio destroyed by a rich company, until a janitor found secret files, and helped the truth come out. It was simple, it was honest, and it was powerful. Magnus Vail watched the movie. It spread everywhere, YouTube, cinemas, schools. People started asking questions. Who's the real bad guy? Why hasn't Zentrix answered? Magnus yelled, "Take it down." But they couldn't, because the movie didn't say Zentrix's name. It just told the truth in a quiet way. Soon, other artists spoke up. A famous actor tweeted, "Keanu reminded me why I became an actor. I quit Zentrix today." A producer said, "I was scared for years. Phoenix gave me courage." Dozens more followed. Phoenix became a movement. Not just for actors, but for all storytellers who wanted to tell the truth. People inside Zentrix started to worry. Board members were angry. Sponsors left. 2 lawsuits failed. The people who lied in court told the truth this time. A judge ordered a big investigation into Zentrix. Magnus was called to court. For the first time in 20 years. He wasn't in control. A reporter asked, "How does it feel to be the bad guy now?" Magnus didn't answer. He had no words. Keanu didn't throw a party. He didn't post anything online. Instead, he went to a children's hospital. He helped set up a small movie room. He sat with a young girl with cancer. She watched the boy who planted light and smiled. That smile meant more than any award. "Stories are magic, right?" he whispered. She nodded. And Keanu knew. Empires built on fear may fall. But love builds legacies. Back at the studio, Keanu got another email. But this time, it wasn't bad. It was from the Global Arts Alliance. They said, "We're nominating Phoenix Studios for the Human Spirit Film Award." Keanu smiled. But then his phone rang. It was Julian Marsh. His voice was shaking. "Keanu, Magnus' team is planning something desperate. They won't give up without one last strike." Keanu's smile faded. He stood up slowly and said, "Then we'll face it together." The sun rose over Los Angeles. Golden light filled the streets. But inside Phoenix Studios, everyone was getting ready. Because they knew. The fight for truth was not over yet. Keanu Reeves knew that the most dangerous move is always the last one. He had felt it before. In movies, in real life, and in quiet moments. When someone is about to lose everything, they either give up or fight back. Magnus Vail wasn't someone who gave up. A warning from inside. Julian Kane sat in a dark cafe. His hands were shaking. He had taken secret papers and brought them out to show the truth. Julian wasn't a hero. But he had made a choice, and now he had to stick to it. He picked up his phone and called Keanu. "They've hired people to hurt you," Julian said quietly. "Hackers, people who post lies online, people who cause trouble. They will attack in every way." Keanu stayed silent. "They'll make up stories," Julian said. "Fake scandals. Lies that spread faster than truth. They might even try to put false criminal charges on you." Keanu took a deep breath. "Then we won't just survive," he said. "We'll rise above it." The cyberstorm begins. 3 days later, something bad happened. Phoenix Studios' YouTube channel disappeared. Gone. No warning. No reason. Thousands of videos, comments, and good stories, wiped out in minutes. Then their website was hacked. Ugly messages popped up that weren't true. Fake news started flying all over the internet. Keanu did tax fraud. Phoenix workers left because of abuse. Is Phoenix Studios a secret cult? None of it was real. But in a world that believes lies quickly, truth takes longer to catch up. Even fans got confused. What's happening? They asked. Keanu, please tell us the truth. But Keanu didn't speak. Not because he was scared, but because he was planning. The candle in the dark. Inside Phoenix Studios, Keanu called a team meeting. Everyone came. Some were scared. Some were angry. All were loyal. Keanu stood in front of them with a single candle. He lit it. Then he turned off the lights. In the dark, only the candle's soft glow remained. This, he said, is what they fear. He paused. One light. One truth. One flame that doesn't go out. He looked at the faces around him. They want us to be angry. They want us to panic. But we will stay calm. We will stay kind. And we will stay standing. Raya Solis stood up. We don't need YouTube to share stories, she said. We'll find another way. Talia Wren nodded. We'll go to the streets, schools, parks, everywhere. They can't erase us. Navan Das stepped forward. We're not just a studio now. We're a movement. The community responds. Within a day, something beautiful happened. Phoenix fans started re-uploading their favorite movies. They used TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, even personal blogs. They shared reviews, reactions, and emotional stories. A teacher who used a Phoenix short film in her classroom. A mother whose child spoke for the first time after watching The Boy Who Planted Light. A soldier who said the films helped with his pain. This wasn't advertising. This was love, and it was louder than lies. Magnus' final trick. But Magnus Vale wasn't done. He made one last evil movie. He sent out a fake story. A young woman cried on TV and said Keanu had been mean and controlling during movie making. There were no facts, no proof, but people believed her. News stations shared the story. Shows talked about it. For the first time, Keanu was seen as a bad person. He said nothing to the media. Instead, he visited a children's center and helped build a bookshelf. He smiled at the kids. But inside, he felt sad. Not for himself, but for a world that's too quick to destroy good people. The truth breaks through. That night, Keanu stood alone in the studio. He looked at a mural on the wall. It said, "Hope grows here." Was all this worth it? The pain? The lies? The fight? Then came a knock at the door. It was the same woman from the TV show. Keanu looked at her, confused. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Magnus' team paid me. They said if I lied, they'd help pay my brother's hospital bills. I didn't know what to do. I was scared." She dropped to her knees. Keanu gently helped her up. "You were just afraid," he said kindly. She cried even harder. And in that moment, Phoenix Studios gained something no enemy could ever take. Grace. The truth comes out. Keanu didn't press charges. He didn't yell. He simply told the truth. The woman went on a live video at Phoenix Studios and shared her story. It went viral. Millions watched. People cried. Even news stations changed their headlines. Keanu forgives the woman who lied. Phoenix Studios stands strong. Zentrix Global couldn't hide anymore. An FBI investigation started. Magnus Vale was arrested. His company collapsed under the truth. That night, Keanu sat with his team. No lights. No fame. Just peace. Raya asked, "Is it over?" Keanu smiled. "No," he said. It's just beginning. Then Naven opened a letter. It was from the Global Arts Alliance. They named Keanu the Human Spirit of the Year, not for making movies, but for showing the world that good people can still rise. The next film. Keanu looked up at the stars. Let's make our best film yet, he said. He gathered his team, Talia, Naven, Raya, and others. I want our next film to be the most important one yet. What's the story? Naven asked. Keanu smiled. It's about a grandfather who teaches his blind granddaughter how to see the world through his memories. The room went quiet. Then everyone clapped. Talia wiped a tear. That's beautiful. Eyes of the Heart. They named the film Eyes of the Heart. They shot it in a small snowy village in northern Canada. No big sets. No fake drama. Just real people and real hearts. They cast a young indigenous girl named Neela Sky. She had never acted before, but had the softest voice. Keanu played the grandfather. Not as a hero, but as a broken man, slowly healing. The music was made by a blind man who played piano in train stations. The costume designer was a mom who once lived in her car. Everyone in the project had their own story, and now they told it together. Keanu's message. Before releasing the film, Keanu made a short video. We don't own stories. We share them. We don't chase fame. We build bridges. This film isn't for money. It's a mirror to help us see our hearts. He didn't buy ads. He just let the film go. And the world caught it. Eyes of the Heart shakes the world. Within 48 hours, the film had 60 million views. 15,000 people made reaction videos, many crying or just sitting in silence. Celebrities posted, not about Keanu, but about how the film made them feel. One tweet said, I watched this with my grandmother. We didn't speak for 20 minutes after. We just held hands. The biggest award. Weeks later, Keanu got a letter. He won the Human Light Legacy Medal, an award given only once every 10 years. You didn't destroy an empire, the letter said. You replaced it with something stronger. Phoenix Studios grows. In the months after, Phoenix Studios helped start 100 small film groups in 40 countries. Teach prisoners how to tell stories and heal. Open a school in Kenya called Phoenix Academy of Light. Keanu visited that school. He sat in a small classroom. The kids acted out scenes from Eyes of the Heart. A young boy ran up and hugged him. Thank you for making stories that feel like hugs, the boy whispered. Keanu's eyes filled with tears. This, he thought, is my reward. Magnus End, Keanu's rise. Magnus Vale went to jail. No one filmed him. No one cared. But Keanu? He rose. Not on magazine covers, but in hearts. He had no big company, no army of investors, but he inspired millions. One last letter. One day, Keanu got a letter from Nepal. It was written on yellow paper, smudged with tears or rain. Dear Mr. Keanu, it said, I am a teacher in a village with no internet and little light. I walked 4 hours to watch Eyes of the Heart. Then I came back and told it to my students. Now we act it out using voices and shadows. They call it the story of light. Thank you for lighting our world. Keanu held the letter to his chest. He didn't speak for a long time. Then he called a meeting. The Global Phoenix Plan. I want to do something bigger, he told his team. Not more fame. Not more awards. Just more light. He wrote 4 words on the board. Phoenix Global Story Circle. We're going to teach the world to tell their own stories. The fire spreads. Phoenix Studios sent free programs to over 150 countries. They trained students, teachers, moms, prisoners, and orphans. They gave solar projectors to villages with no electricity. They started a new festival, the Human Flame Festival. No red carpet, no celebrities, just people telling real stories. A voice from the past. One day, a teenage girl stood on stage. "My name is Sarah," she said. "I once lived in a refugee camp. We cried, we were hungry. But then someone showed us a film about a boy who planted lights. I didn't know who made it, but it gave me strength." She looked at Keanu, sitting quietly in the back. "Today I want to say thank you, not because you made a movie, but because you reminded me that I still have a voice." The crowd clapped. Keanu didn't. He just put his hand on his heart. The last interview. A reporter once asked Keanu, "You've done so much. How do you want to be remembered?" Keanu looked up at the tree above. "Remember me?" he said. "Don't." The reporter was surprised. "What do you mean?" "Don't remember me," Keanu smiled. "Remember the child who smiled. The prisoner who found peace. The teacher who found a way. The woman who forgave. Remember them, because that's the real story. A world transformed." Years passed. Phoenix Studios became many things. On rooftops in Cairo. In temples in India. In classrooms in Argentina. In hospitals, where sick people recorded messages of love. You never saw Keanu's name on a building. But his spirit was everywhere. Keanu's quiet goodbye. One day, Keanu walked through the old studio. He looked at the mural, "Hope grows here." He touched the wall. He remembered the pain, the wins, the stories. Then he picked up his bag and walked out. No party. No goodbye. Just one man, leaving the light on. Years later, a little boy in a faraway town asked his teacher, "Who started all this?" The teacher smiled. "A man named Keanu." "Was he a king?" the boy asked. "No." "A president?" "No." "Then what was he?" The teacher looked out the window. Children were acting out a play barefoot on the dirt. "He was a flame," she said softly. If you liked this story, tell me in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more fun adventures and mysteries. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.